using Ricoh cameras for about 7 years now. First the Ricoh GR2, then I got the Ricoh GR3 in 2018. In 2018 I also became Ricoh GR ambassador or Ricoh GRist. I still have to check if this is the case today. Yes, obviously I am. But I have to admit that I've been quite unfaithfully to my Ricoh GR3 lately. I don't know really why, since I was almost exclusively on the streets with my Ricoh GR3 at the time, like 3-4 years ago, like here with Lentaro at the Munich Oktoberfest. Great pictures came out and we had a lot of fun, as you can probably see in Lentaro's video. The Ricoh was simply unbeatable in terms of lens quality, speed and setting options. Especially at the Oktoberfest, where you could just push that little camera through the crowds and just shoot. Oh, and the extremely lightweight should not be forgotten. All reason enough to check the Ricoh GR3 again to see if it is really one of the best cameras for street photography in 2023. In the meantime, we also got the new Ricoh GR3X with a 40mm lens on the camera market. I haven't tried it yet, but I think that 40mm is a pretty good focal length for street photography. Because I noticed again on my tour yesterday with the Ricoh GR3 that I find it to be a small disadvantage with the Ricoh GR3, the unusual 28mm compared to the 35mm on the Fuji X100V. But see for yourself what came out of my tour yesterday, and let me babble a bit about my opinion on the Ricoh GR3's current status in street photography. Enjoy! With my Fuji X100F I used the film simulation Classic Chrome almost exclusively for a long time, which I think compares well with the film simulation negative film from Ricoh. Today when I'm shooting JPEGs I almost always use Classic Negative on my Fuji because it has a more nostalgic look to me. But this is entirely subjective. What I missed on the Ricoh GR3 when I still had my Fuji X100F is the rangefinder. Ever since the Fuji X100V came out, I've also been missing a tilt screen on the Ricoh GR3. When taking photos with the Ricoh, things are much more minimalistic. When you hold the Ricoh in your hands for the first time in a long time, you think you are dealing with a toy. Which isn't a bad thing, because I've noticed that I shoot differently with the Ricoh. Just more playful, more creative, more from the hip. And I notice again that most people on the streets don't see the Ricoh as a real camera. More pass-byers walk through the picture when I'm fishing at a corner, which is a good thing to me. This is quite a difference to taking pictures with a larger X100V or even with a Fuji X-T4. Due to the longer focal length on the Ricoh with a 28mm, you cannot compose so well, in my opinion. Everything is left to chance a little more. I have to say that I had a lot of fun being on the road with the Ricoh again. Unfortunately, the weather was quite cloudy, as you can see, so I couldn't do a lot shadow light photography, which I love to do so much. I hope the recordings I made are still meaningful. So what has happened since the Ricoh GR3 came out? Sure, the Fuji X100V is probably the biggest competitor. The price difference between the Ricoh GR3, which includes the Ricoh GR3X and the Ricoh Street Edition for me, and the Fuji X100V isn't that big anymore. It's like 1,000 to 1,400 euros or dollars, so that a direct comparison becomes more and more obvious. Right, the Fuji X100V is still not really available, but that should change in the following weeks and months, I hope, I guess. The Fuji X100V combines the two great advantages of a digital rangefinder and a tilt screen. Cameras that are in serious competition with the Ricoh GR3 are otherwise in completely different price ranges, such as the Zeiss ZX1 or the Sony RX1R2 or even the Leica Q2, and in the following month the Leica Q3, which comes out I think the end of May and will be around 6,000 euros. They offer a completely different resolution thanks to full frame, these cameras, but also they cost many times more than the Ricoh GR3. So for me, the Ricoh GR3 is still the perfect entry-level camera for street photography, with a price of about 1,000 euros, even after being 5 years in the camera game. The price-performance ratio is and remains unbeaten. I will definitely be going on tours with the Ricoh GR3 more often now, since I rediscovered it a bit. What is your opinion on the Ricoh GR3? I look forward to your comments. As always, happy shooting and see you next week. Yours, Oliver.